wrong way. Hold up. Haha. Okay. So I've been wanting to do this for a while now, but I've just been so busy with school and all that and just been procrastinating. So I'm going to do my presentation that I usually do at the schools and all that about my life before and after. Just to give you a better visual. Okay. Okay, good enough. Whatever. So, my name's Keisha Mastrodemus. I am 21 years old now, and I'm going to tell you my story. So, I grew up in Sexsmith, which is in Alberta, Canada, for those of you around the world. I had a really good upbringing. I grew up with my three brothers, my mom, and my stepdad. I was very active in school. I played football. Let me go to this one. If you can sort of see that. Oh, hi. Hey, it's me. I've never really done a live video before, so we're gonna see how this goes. Clearly not so good anyways. I played football, basketball, rode horses around Alberta with my grandpa. I'm trying to get closer for you to see the screen there. Okay. I did track, hurdles, and 800 meter. Okay. Oh, you really can't see very well. I'll zoom in and stuff after. There we go. Okay, so I went to Sexsmith for my 11 years into grade 11. And Sexsmith works that they have a school that goes up to grade 7. And then you transition to a high school right near it. When I transitioned into the high school in grade 7, I began getting bullied. So I started getting depressed. I started not wanting to go to school anymore. I started losing a lot of my friends. So I wasn't very happy. And there was nothing I could really do about it until grade 12 came and when I got my license. So I decided to move to Beaver Lodge with my best friend so that I could start enjoying life again, right? And actually wanting to go to school. So, not working. Okay, I started going to Beaver Lodge in October, and I started loving going to school. I started making friends. I was happy again. It was absolutely amazing. I really need this to work on this at this point, and it's not working. Okay, anyways, so everything was going good. I'd been going there for about 2 months when November 26, 2013 came along. It started out like any other day before. I got up, got dressed, went to school, came back home, did some homework, and then sat on the couch and started watching some TV. That's when my phone lit up from a text message from a lady that I used to babysit for in Sexsmith, and she asked if I could babysit for her. I opened the window and looked out, and I couldn't even see across the road. It was snowing so bad. Yeah, and it's middle of winter, and they're from Beaver Lodge to Sexsmith. It's about a little bit, probably an hour drive. So I said, well, I don't really feel comfortable with the weather conditions and all of that, so I'm gonna have to pass. And I get another text saying, please, we really need somebody, we'll pay you double. Being a high school student, not making a lot of money, I was like, oh, can't refuse that offer. So I said, sure. I didn't really want to go alone, so I asked my friend to come with me, and she said, sure. So I went and picked her up, and then we were headed out there. About 5 minutes out of town, lit up from a text message. Yeah, from a text message. And so I pulled over and responded, and it seemed that it needed attention more than that. So I asked Brittany if she would drive. Oh, my friend's name's Brittany, sorry. And she again said sure. So she drove the way there, and As I got settled in my passenger seat, I said, "Don't hit any animals," and we were off. I really want this to work. We got to, oh my gosh, we got to the lady's house at about 9, 10 o'clock, and we babysat till about 1. As we were babysitting, Brittany mentioned hitting up McDonald's on the way home. And I was all for the idea, as I love McDonald's, until she mentioned she forgot her wallet. And again, not making a lot of money in high school, I really didn't want to pay for her food. So there's 2 ways that you can get to Beaver Lodge from Sexsmith. You can take the double highway, which you go by McDonald's, or you can take the Emerson, which you don't go by the McDonald's. So do you want to take a wild guess at where I decided to go? Yeah, we took the Emerson. I didn't let her know that I was going the Emerson way just to miss McDonald's, but I was hoping she forgot. So about half an hour down the road, the song Timber starts playing. Oh, it keeps freezing at the exact same spot. Of bloody course. Okay. I'll eventually get it to work. Anyways. Okay. Yes, Timber starts playing. Before I knew it, I seen something crossing the road. I slammed on my brakes and yelled shit. Everything went white. All the things that I hadn't done yet in life started flooding my thoughts. I haven't graduated high school, haven't gone to college, haven't gotten married, haven't had kids yet. I can't die yet. I can't die yet. I came back to reality with my arms shaking my face like this. Okay. I tried to put them down. They wouldn't move. I tried to move my leg, wouldn't budge. I tried to turn my head to see if Brittany was okay. Didn't move. Okay, here we go. I'll just leave it like this. So here is the picture. I'll zoom in more. I tried to speak to see if Brittany was okay, and she didn't answer. Sorry. I can't multitask. I'm not very good at it. All that came out was a whisper. So all I said was, Brittany, are you okay? Thankfully, she heard me, and she said, yeah, I'm all right. So I said, good, get me out of here. Of course, we're going to get a glare. I don't know how well that is. Anyways. So she came over to my side, and luckily for me, she was a trained first responder in school, so she knew exactly what to do and what not to do. She came over to my side, undid my seatbelt, tilted my seat back, and started pulling me out from she put her arms around under my armpits and held my neck and pulled me out. As she pulled me out, because my feet were on the brakes, my car rolled into the ditch. So when she pulled me out, she put me on the pavement in the middle of the road and said that she needed to go back to the car to find her phone to call the cops. She wasn't very familiar with the area. So as she did that, she grabbed her phone, called the cops, and then was going up and down the road trying to find a sign to tell the police where we were. So I was alone on the pavement. So as I'm staring up into the sky, repeating over and over again, I'm not going to die, I'm not going to die, I started seeing something in the distance, a light, and I started getting closer and closer. And following the light, I heard the sound of an engine coming closer and closer. It didn't sound like it was stopping at all or slowing down. So I tried to yell at Brittany to tell her what was going on. And again, all that came out was a whisper. Brittany, it's not stopping. It's not stopping. I couldn't even hear her at this point. So I closed my eyes and I was like, this is it. There's no coming back from this one. So next thing I know, Brittany is coming around under my armpits and around my neck again and dragged me across the road. By the time we made it to the shoulder, that car went by. Another car went by and another car went by. 3 cars went by before finally a semi-truck driver noticed something was wrong. So he went through and then backed up and barricaded us so that no other vehicle could potentially hit us. So as I'm laying there, I hear Brittany and this man talking, and I hear them coming over to me. They placed blankets on me, and then we all talked until the ambulance got there. He kept saying that everything was going to be okay and all, and Brittany just stabilized my neck until they got here. So once the ambulance arrived, they started strapping me to this really hard board, which you can kind of see in this picture. Not really, hey? Oh well. Putting towels beside my head and taping my head to this. As they put me into the ambulance, Brittany came in as well. And as soon as I got in the ambulance, they started ripping off all my clothes, stabbing me with needles, and talking to each other and not talking to me. So I asked, am I going to die? Nobody answered. So I said, can I go to sleep? And they said, sure. So I drifted off to sleep as the ambulance drove us to Grand Prairie Hospital. At the time, I was not living with my mom because I'd moved in with my best friend, right? In Beaver Lodge. So that's one phone call a mother does not want to get. No, probably not that one yet. Oh well. Okay, so once I got to the hospital, they immediately sent me for x-rays. By the time they came back with the results of the x-rays, the doctor suggested getting me out of Grand Prairie ASAP because it was the worst neck injury he'd ever seen. So they put me on a plane and my mother came. Oh, shoot. So the police called my mom and said, your daughter has been in a car accident. She has a few bumps and bruises. You can come to the hospital if you'd like. And again, as I already ruined it, good thing she came because it was worse than they had expected. I don't know if the police knew what was going on or they were just ensuring that mother had a safe arrival. I'm not sure. So yeah, we flew to Edmonton. Brittany sustained a couple slip discs and she was discharged from the hospital. She was all right. So what had happened was it was a moose, and when we were going and he ran across the road, we went under him, under his legs, and his body landed on the cab of my vehicle and the roof caved in and broke my neck. Okay, so I get flown to Edmonton and I get admitted into the ICU there. Oh, the ICU, let me tell you, is a place that you don't want to ever be in. It's like being in a sad movie over and over again, except it's reality. They're real people. My first night, I think I witnessed 2 people die, and that's the sound of the heartline machine flatlining, followed by the sorrows and crying of all the family members present. Oh, and me not really knowing my condition and my stability there, I was just thinking, when's my time? When am I going? Yeah, so I had to, or the first time I kind of woke up into consciousness was when they were drilling the halo into my head. And they drill a hole here, 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 and here to put in that big metal piece. The best thing that I can relate that to is if you guys have watched Mean Girls, Regina George has that thing at the end for prom or whatever. That's what I had to have. So they put that in you on you until you get surgery, so you don't wreck your neck anymore and it keeps it stabilized. Okay, so while I'm in the ICU, they pump you full of a lot of drugs so that you're not in pain and you're kind of calm, right? So I'll give you a couple examples. Morphine is when you sleep on it, is very vivid. It seems like real life, your dreams. So I'll give you 2 of my dreams. One was I'd woken up in the ICU and I was able to, if I went like this, I could spray spider webs. I don't know. So I started spraying my spider webs, crawling all over the ICU, going from wall to wall. And yeah, I was Spider-Man. And I remember waking up like all frazzled, like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Did I fall out of bed? I can't move. Like, how is this possible? Yeah, so that was a little bit freaky. And then the second one was, I remember in my dream, I had hid some cookies under my pillow because when you're going in for surgery, you're not allowed to eat. So you can only have like ice cubes or whatever. So I was starving. So in my dream, I'd hid cookies under my pillow. And every time a nurse or somebody would leave the room, I would go under my pillow and take the cookies and eat some. So when I woke up, there was doctors and people all in my room. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I called my friend over and I said, do they know about the cookies? And she's like, what are you talking about? What cookies? I was like, under my pillow, the cookies. She's like, there's no cookies under your pillow. It's like, I know, I ate them. And she's like, no, there was no cookies and you're not in trouble and whatever. So apparently I didn't eat no cookies and it was all good. Yeah, okay. So then I had surgery on the 29th of November. I remember that very clearly because right before surgery, I remember looking at, or it was either before or after, looking at the TV, that has no sound, by the way, and seeing that Paul Walker had passed away. And that was very, very traumatizing for me, as Paul Walker is like number one love next to Brendan Gallagher. Anyways, okay, so after surgery, I got moved up to a ward, which is your own room and you're just waiting for placement. So in this ward, I was met with a neurosurgeon, or not the surgeon, neuro doctor person, whatever. So he came up to my room and told me, or in the room with me, my mom, my stepdad, and he sat us down and he said, so you are a C5, C6 quadriplegic and you will never walk again. I directed my attention to the clock on the wall and just started crying and crying and crying. Just last week, I was finally enjoying life, hanging out with my friends, driving, walking whenever I wanted. How could this be my life? This is retarded. Like, oh, and I just remember crying and crying. So there came a point, I think it was like 10, 15 minutes later, where I brought myself together and I said, you know what, Keisha, no, you're not going to listen to this doctor. You're better than this. And you're going to use his negativity as your motivation to prove him wrong. And that's what I've done ever since. That's what I've been pushing towards and all this. And yeah. So don't let anyone ever tell you that you can do something. So, oh, right. When I was in the ICU, I remember in my bed, my mom was laying with me and showing me all the messages that, I'll switch there. Oh, crap. All the messages, all the posts, all the texts, all the statuses and everything that people had sent me saying they were hoping I was okay and all this. You know, being in Sexsmith, I really didn't think people cared about me. I figured if something happened to me that nobody would blink an eye or anything. Let me tell you guys, do not wait until something life-altering happens to you before you realize how much people actually care about you. I know it's really hard to see at times, but trust me, they do. Okay, I think, oh dear, we're gonna go to this one. So with my injury, my C5, C6, there's a lot more to it than not being able to walk. For example, I use this one. Okay, so I don't really have control of my bowels and bladder. I can't go pee and poop by myself. So I found that out real fast. I'll give you a couple examples again. So about a week after I was in the ICU, I shit my pants. And I was like, well, I wonder how we're going to go about this. That's when a really hot male nurse walked in. And I was like, sir, you got the wrong room. Do not come in here. Yeah, he did not have the wrong room. And he had to clean me up. After that, I was like, you know what? It can't get worse than that. Oh, that's when life was like, you just wait. So about a couple months later, after that, I was in therapy in Grand Prairie. And a couple of my friends came and surprised me. So, and my mom, my little brother, and my other friend were already there. So I didn't really want to chill in my hospital room. I'm in there quite a bit and it's kind of crowded. So I didn't really want everybody chilling in there. So I said, let's go for a stroll down in the bottom floor through this long hallway. So this long hallway has a start point, midpoint, and end point. And it's like open, full of windows and all that. So we get down there and we get to the midpoint and decide to take a break. That's when one of my friends bent down to my little brother and was like, "Aw, Jesse, you stink." I was like, "Oh my God, that's not Jesse." I turned my head around, and behind me, there was a trail of shit leading up to my wheelchair. I threw the blanket over my face, embarrassed as heck. Oh crap. And I was like, oh my gosh, this cannot be happening. This cannot be happening. And then I hear people coming down the hallway. Oh my gosh, someone just shit in the hallway. Yeah. And I can't even pretend like it's not me because it leads right up to my damn wheelchair. Before I had thrown the blanket over my head, I noticed something about one of the piles of poop. There was a footprint in it. Yeah. So each one of my friends had the joys of looking at the soles of their feet to see if it was theirs, right? Yeah, it was one of theirs. And I like to think that it's not because of that, but we don't really talk anymore. Yeah, so immediately after that, I made my mother wheel me up to my room and get all cleaned up and whatever. I bawled and bawled and bawled. And I did not know how I was going to face my friends again after that and how I was going to live a life where I can potentially do that. That was 3.5 years ago, and now it's pretty funny. And not saying that it's a bucket list thing or anything, but who can say that they shit in a hallway and didn't have to clean it up? Yeah, you look at the joys of life, you learn. Okay, let's go to the next one. But you can't even really see it. Why is it not working? Okay, so right after I had to start doing therapy, I met with my therapist and he asked me to make some goals. He said you can have as many as you want, or as many as you want. As small, they can be small or big or whatever. So I said, okay, I only have two. One, I need to learn how to text again, and I need to learn how to walk again. Because with my injury, my fingers don't work, right? So that was a little bit of a nuisance. And having mother chicken peck and read all my stuff and learn, yeah, all about me and have no privacy. I had enough of that. So I don't know if this is gonna work then. Let's go, because I have a few videos of the first time doing stuff. Why does I hate this computer? Anyways, maybe I'll be able to get to those after. They're on my YouTube. You can go to the first time I'm texting to the updated version now, as well as the first time I was tried to wheel to wheeling now. It just proves that with constant motivation and hard work, you can push yourself super hard. I remember the first time I tried to wheel, which would be in there, was incredibly difficult. And I could move like maybe a centimeter. So each day after that, after I think it was during the nighttime, I would try to wheel myself all the way around my ward in the hospital. And each day I could get farther and farther with littler and littler breaks. And I think 2 months in, I was able to do the entire round once with no breaks. So yeah, it just, practice makes perfect for sure. And I don't have the thing, so I don't know the next one. So I think the next one is, so when I got in the car accident, I was in my grade 12 year. I was a few months away from graduating with all these amazing people, and I was finally loving life and all that. So once I woke up and came to consciousness and whatever, I was like, okay, Mom, I'm going back to school tomorrow. Tomorrow turned into next week turned into next month turned into next semester, and I finally had it. I said, I'm done procrastinating. I don't want this accident to take one more thing away from me. So between therapies, visitations with my friends, doctors, and whatnot, I taught myself how to write again, how to type on a computer, and I was able to finish all my grade 12 English and social and receive my high school diploma for grade 12. That was with the help of a lot of my friends and two of my teachers, Miss Davidson and Miss Nordhagen. Technology is so annoying. Yes, close. Oh, no. Okay. Then, so after that, we had a fundraiser in 2014 to get a vehicle that I could ride in and potentially drive in the future. So mom drove me around for the first year or two. I think it was a year before we finally converted it to be able for me to drive. And again, that'll be on my Facebook. I don't know if the video will work very well and you can't even see it too well. So I forgot to mention that the reason I was in the hospital for 6 months and 25 days, and the reason I was in there so long was because we had to wait for my house, oh my gosh, technology, to get converted. We had to get a elevator in the back of my yard or back deck for me to get into the house because my house was a split level. It's a 12-foot lift in the back of my house. We had to get ceiling lifts in my bedroom and the bathroom. And yeah, so that took a long time, a lot of money, and that was where the fundraisers and everything came into play there. I found a little mechanism. I just can't turn it into a PowerPoint or play videos. Okay, anyways, so back to, yeah, so I started driving in 2015, I believe, and have been driving ever since by myself. The first day that mom told me that I had to start driving, I went to bed full of anxiety, and I was so nervous about driving at night. I just kept replaying, seeing an animal cross the road or something. So yeah, I was terrified, but when it finally came down to it, I was okay. It was just the overthinking, of course, right? We all know how that goes. So about 2 years later, when life started to calm down a little bit, me and Brittany were talking, and we were like, oh wow, we haven't talked to the driver of the semi-truck. And so we wanted to reach out and see and thank him and everything for keeping us calm, and he was kind of our little hero that night, right? So we contacted the police and asked if they had his name or any contact information, and they said no. And we were like, okay, so how are we going to go about this? That's when a lady came into Costco one time and mentioned putting something on Facebook. And I was like, on Facebook? You're crazy. We're not going to find a man like on Facebook. But I figured it's all we got, so I might as well try. So I posted it at I think 9 in the morning, and by 2 hours later, it went viral all over the world. People were inboxing me saying that they shared it in the United States, in Europe, and whatever, and helping us try to find this man. So at about 2 o'clock, I got a message saying that they knew this person and that it was their uncle. And he doesn't actually have Facebook or any social media, and he actually lived, I think it's like 3 hours, 2-3 hours away from me. And by just word of mouth and him telling people what he had seen that night, we were able to get in contact with him. And so we were talking, and I said, okay, well, we really want to meet you and all this, and thank you. And so he said, weirdly enough, I am sorry, new here. What happened to me? You got to rewind the video, man. You're far behind. I broke my neck in a car accident. Anyways, so this guy, yeah, so he said he's coming to Grand Prairie. Perfect. Tomorrow for work. And I was like, wow, weird coincidence, right? So I said, why don't you come over to mom's for pizza and we'll watch the hockey game? And he said, sure. So I went and picked him up with my van, and came back to mom's house, and he got to put a lot of the pieces together that me and Brittany didn't really know, and I got to put a face to the name or voice, because that night I couldn't move my head around and all that, so I was just seeing his face. Or now I didn't see it back then. Anyways, so yeah, it was really cool. And when he went to leave, we were taking these pictures. You can't really see, but in the corner of his sweater, he has a moose in the corner of his sweater. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I feel comfortable driving you back home. Can we do Owen, or do we have another chance, right? But we were good. We lost one and we did good one time. Okay, yeah. So since then, he's actually came and visited me 2 times. It's kind of hard because he lives far away, but he will definitely be in our lives forever. He's just our little hero that night. Oh crap, not enter. Let me wreck it. Okay. These are more therapy videos that are on my YouTube, just showing how progression can come relatively quickly if you push yourself and practice, right? But again, like I said, stupid videos won't work. Okay, so now, as of, this will be a year ago, I moved out into an accessible apartment all by myself. And let me tell you guys, it is amazing. I get to eat the food that I want, no vegetables. Sorry, Mom. I can do whatever I want. Like, it's just, and it's like your own place, right? So some more independence from my not so independent life. Yeah, it's just unreal. A little quote that I had said was, you may not notice the change within the time being, but take a step back and see the difference within the last year or two. You will surprise yourself. The impossible is an illusion. The word itself spells I'm possible. Right? So you are kind of the determiner of your own destiny. I could have just sat back, got depressed, not wanting to leave my house because I can poop my pants sometimes. But what kind of life would that be? I would live in fear every single day. Again, I wouldn't leave my house. I wouldn't have the amazing life that I do now. Okay, so again, about a year or so ago, I started drawing. And I'm actually a better drawer than before when my hands did work, which is kind of weird. Those are up on my blog site, which is on Weebly. I think I'll put a link in this after, but because you can't really see. But yeah, yeah, you have to find ways to, I hate the word adapt, but like to draw and write and everything. Okay, and then this year I had the opportunity to go to Grand Cache, which is about 2 hours away from me, and start riding horses again. And that was 2-3 years that I hadn't been on a horse. And oh my gosh, it was absolutely amazing. The people there, absolutely amazing. They didn't even know me, and they got to work right away. One guy stayed up till like 12 in the morning just recreating the saddle for me. Yeah, like it was, I got to relive my dream, my passion of riding horses, and I'm forever grateful for that. Okay, all right, so here we're gonna change the pace a little bit. Don't worry, we're almost done. I'm gonna leave one more slide. This video is also up on my thing, but my life isn't always, oh, it stopped working. Butterflies and rainbows. I go through a lot of hard times, and I figured that I should probably show the truth within this video as well, right? So I'm gonna read you something that I wrote back in 2014 when I was in the hospital. The video is not gonna show, but the video on my YouTube channel is not being able to get up. So it's me trying to get on my arms like this and arching my back, and I just could not do it that day. Yeah, so I'll just read this. So somebody once asked me, how do you feel being disabled? This was my response. Imagine Being able to walk 1 second and in the blink of an eye, it being taken away from you. Let me tell you, it is one of the most frustrating and scariest things imaginable. I hate thinking about not being able to do something, not being able to hang out and do stuff with my friends like regular teenagers, not being able to go to school, to learn, and socialize. I hate listening to my friends talk about all the things they are doing without me. I hate being restricted and limited to the places I can and cannot go due to my inability to walk. It's just not fair. I hate reminiscing about my life before. I can't help but wonder where my life would be and what it would look like if this accident didn't happen. I miss driving. I miss shopping at the mall with my friends. I miss everything so much. I hate the stairs everywhere I go, every turn I make. Imagine everyone knowing each aspect of your personal and private life, everything there is to know about you, everything you say being written down and read off from nurse to nurse. Whether you're having a good day or a bad day, they all know about it. Everyone seeing every body part of yours, no privacy whatsoever. Having your life planned out on a strict schedule, leaving no room for spontaneous things, yeah, that's my life. Imagine your entire grade 12 year ruined by a stupid moose. Feeling like your world is crashing down left, right, and center, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. I know I make it look and seem easy sometimes, but the truth is, there are a lot of the times I just want to break down and cry. I ask God, why me? What could I have possibly done to deserve this crappy hand that I've been dealt? It's then that I remember God never gives you more than you can handle. I remember that everything happens for a reason. I remember I'm still here, alive, and breathing. I remember it could be so much worse. I could be dead. I could be on a ventilator. I could be a vegetable. But luckily, I'm not. I'm still me, Keisha. I'm still mentally stable. I have family and friends who love and support me. I'm gaining new things every day, continuing to prove doctors wrong. Loving and living my life to the fullest. Sure, I can't do all of the same things I used to, but I can do anything I set my mind to. I have realized that where there's a will, Keisha finds a way. If I truly believe I will walk again, I will. Life will be even better than before. It will just take time. I remember all the amazing people I've met along this journey, including nurses, therapists, and patients that I would have never had the chance of meeting if this accident didn't happen. I will overcome this. I will be a miracle. I will walk again. As my tattoo proclaims, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. Here's to standing up one more time that I've been knocked down. So with that video that I posted, it did not have a happy ending. I could not get out for the life of me. So I went home and I deleted all evidence of the videos. And that's when my physiotherapist messaged me and she said, Keisha, I know you've had a bad day, but I think that you should keep those videos for when you need, when you can do that, right? And I said, ugh, fine. So I went back and I recovered the videos and I brushed them aside for the time being because I didn't want to look at them. And that right now, I'm happy to say that I can do that and easy. And I guess it is more satisfying knowing that you went through that struggle to get you to where you are now, right? So through that and through all these other experiences, I have learned that having bad days are okay, and that my bad days are somebody else's good days, and that your guys' good days are somebody else's, and even my good days, right? So yeah, I've started writing a blog too, which has helped me a lot through this healing process. By writing out my stuff, I can heal internally. And I don't know, that's just how I've learned. So I'm just gonna read you a couple of things of my knowledge. So I have found that setting goals, have given yourself something to work towards and to look forward to helps you get out of bed in the morning and not being in that depressed stage. Because once you're in that depressed stage, it is so hard to come out of. Yeah. So I've learned that there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. I know that it's really hard to see sometimes. And the shitty part is you don't know how long you're going to be in that dark tunnel for. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel, always. No matter if you're looking for something big or for something small. So, for example, I remember a couple months ago, I went through, I would term as the worst time of my life, even worse than the accident I found. My personal life was shit. My school, my stress, like I just felt like every single aspect of my life was crumbling down. And I could not stop it. I couldn't control it and nothing. And I just kept getting closer and closer to depression, and I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to go see my friends. I didn't want to live anymore. And so I pushed myself to find something good in my life. And that's when I came up about two things. I had two things in my life that were good. My financial state was stable, and that was good. And the other thing was I hadn't shit my pants in as long as I could remember. And for me, that is amazing. And so sometimes you have to look at the little things and look at the small positive things and hold on to that to get you through. And then eventually your life will turn around. Yeah, I've learned among anything. Sometimes you have to look for small things. Okay, so to end it is to be thankful for the life that you are given. Besides, you cannot change the hand that you've been dealt, but you can change the way that you play the hand, right? So my life could totally be worse, right? I could be dead. I could be not have movement from here down, and I don't. I have an amazing life. I have an amazing support system. I have amazing friends in my life. I thank God every day for my life. Yeah. Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed that, and that if you have any questions or anything, you can leave comments, or you can follow my YouTube page, which is Keisha Mastrodemus. Somebody's at the door. And or my Facebook account was what does that say? What about I can talk about autonomic dyslexia for sure. My Facebook page is Keisha's Road to Recovery. So autonomic dysreflexia. I am an incomplete, which means that my spinal cord wasn't completely severed. So it's not too bad. Is it possible to ask me an embarrassing question? Giver. I talked about shitting my pants. Can't get much embarrassing than that. If I have to pee or something's bothering my feet, I will get hot flashes and begin to spasm a lot, which is autonomic dysreflexia for me. Everybody might experience it different, but yeah, mine's just like going through menopause. I just get hot flashes, right? It's just my body telling me something's wrong. Sore heads. What do you mean? I don't get that. Does anybody else have any other questions or that embarrassing question? Do this and grab this. Yeah, so if you guys have any more, just leave comments, message me on YouTube, or follow my page on Facebook. Are you happy? Oh, I am beyond happy. I think that my life is better than before the accident. I have a way better relationship with my mom. We weren't very close, as I wasn't even living at home, and that I could never. If you don't have a good relationship with your mom or dad, you need to. Like, it's an amazing experience. Sore head. Not a sore head. No, it's just I just get really hot, and I can get maybe a little bit of a headache, but not really. But yeah, I was not going down a good path before the accident. I often think about where I would be. Maybe still drinking, still partying, I could be, honestly, I'll be truthful, like I could be pregnant right now. I don't think I would have gone to college. I don't think I even would have graduated high school. This accident definitely set me on the right path and a better life for sure. I don't think that I couldn't ever take this back. I would not go back to, even though I was walking and everything was normal, I don't think I could go back to that. But I will walk again now, I believe. Yeah, don't mind my rambling. But if no other questions, what are you wanting to accomplish with your YouTube channel? Like, are you trying to speak to newly or help able-bodied? Oh, no. No, a lot of it is for both able-bodied people and people in wheelchairs. Right after the accident, me and mom went onto YouTube because I'd never heard of what a quadriplegic was before, to see what these kind of people what they could do, what the potential was, and all of that. And that's where I got a lot of my motivation. So I just started posting videos of the things that my progress and all this, to show people in wheelchairs that there is hope. Keep going, push yourself. If you don't push yourself, there's no progress going to come, right? And I also do want to show able-bodied people what we can do, I guess. Like, a lot of them don't have a good perception of people in wheelchairs. They just think, oh, they can't walk, that's it. And or we can't, like, there's a very, very, very big stereotype, and I don't like that. But I also have on my recovery pages, a lot of my friends and people that I know personally, and they're like, wow, if this person who this crappy stuff has happened to can keep going and push through this huge struggle, they can push through their daily struggles, right? So you kind of give people a inspiration, whether you're in a wheelchair or not. But mainly, I would say for people in wheelchairs that I think that I'm trying to inspire them. Most annoying thing is bladder and bowels. Yeah, girl. I got a surgery done 2 years ago, super pubic, and oh my gosh, 100% recommend it. It has changed my life. I don't have to get into bed every 4 hours. I don't pee my pants. The crappy thing is I do my bowel routine and whatever, but there is sometimes that I do poop my pants, right? Yeah, I do not miss peeing my pants all the time at all. So I definitely recommend. That's cool. You are right. That's how I felt when I started mine. Even people that are born disabled don't push themselves. Yeah. And I think the hardest thing with me being, I had my life before. That's the hardest thing, is I knew what it was like to walk. I knew what it was like to give a thumbs up and whatever. And people that are born into a wheelchair, whatever, they don't know. And so I think that's two different views of life. That's why I get depressed sometimes, is I miss that. I miss being able to do all that, I think, personally. But everybody else has their own opinions, right? Yeah. Is that we good? That was a good, how long? 47 minutes. I guess that's not bad. Okay. Oh, let's see. Yep, I can't even fathom that what you had. I totally get it. Yeah. But I found myself, I'll post the thing to my blog too. I write a lot about the struggles and everything that I go through, all my personal, like, it's very, very personal. I'll send that up there too. But yeah, I found myself not looking at pictures before, videos before, when I was walking and all that. And I didn't know why, but you start thinking back, and then you'll look at other people and be like, wow, how easy it is for them to do a thumbs up, how easy it is for them to get into bed. Like, then you start getting like, oh, that's not fair, and you dumb down into that depression real fast. And so you have to kind of stop yourself. How do you handle the devotees? Devotees, is that the ones that like hit on you and like have those feet fetishes and whatnot? I think that's what those are. I'm just gonna go with that. Oh my gosh, it's kind of weird. Yeah, those. Sorry, I just got a phone call. I don't want to bring that stuff when I need it, right? Yeah. I'm happy with this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Maybe I'll go live more often. It's kind of fun. Okay, well, I think that's it. So, hope everybody has a good day. Love the life you live the life you love. Oh. Are you sure you want to stop streaming?